Welcome back to Super Recaps. Today, I would like to show you the 2020 mystery crime thriller Night Clerk. Make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon to get new video updates. Watch out for spoilers ahead. The scene starts in the basement of his mother's house where he is watching footage from cameras he has hidden in the hotel rooms of the hotel he's employed in. Since he suffers from Asperger's syndrome, he believes that by observing human interactions and mimicking their conversations and behavior, he can tackle his poor social skills. There are also cameras placed around his house, which his mom Ethel uses to communicate with him and lets him know when it's time for dinner. However, Bart never goes upstairs to eat dinner with her. Instead, he waits for Ethel to leave his dinner plate on the stairs, which he takes to his own room while Ethel eats alone. Even though Bart has Asperger's, he is still extremely intelligent and capable. He can still drive and do his job well without any issues. He works as a night shift clerk in the hotel, and his boss Ron is very understanding of Bart's situation and trusts him, and does not stay around the hotel to keep an eye on Bart. It's pretty quiet tonight, so Bart doesn't expect new guests to come until Karen appears at midnight. After giving her a room, he took out his tablet to check the hidden camera footage and was shocked to see Karen sneaking a man inside the room through the window. Bart is so preoccupied with this that he doesn't notice his coworker Jack walk in, who instantly notices that the movie Bart is watching looks awfully similar to the hotel rooms. After quickly closing the tablet, Bart realizes his shift is over and leaves without making an excuse about what Jack saw. Before heading home, Bart stops at the store to get some ice cream, which he enjoys while watching the hotel cameras. Karen is arguing with the strange man because she thinks he doesn't care for her. After all, they can only meet in secret. All of a sudden, the man attacks Karen, and her bag drops to the ground, showing a gun she'd hidden inside. Bart calls Jack, but he doesn't dare to admit his spying, so he hangs up without saying anything and rushes to his car. Bart accelerates his car, and just when he enters the hotel through a side door, Jack exits through the front gate to smoke. When he hears a shot from inside, he rushes back in and discovers Karen dead on the floor, while Bart sits anxiously on the bed. Jack warns Bart not to touch anything while he calls the cops, but after he's gone, Bart places his fingers on the blood to know what it feels like. Then he starts taking out all the hidden cameras in the room, but in his haste, he drops one of the SD cards. When the police come, Detective Espada starts questioning everyone. Ron defends Bart, saying he's odd but a good, responsible kid who wouldn't even harm a fly. Just after that, Espada interrogates Bart, who quickly creates a story about why he returned. He claims he left work, stopped for ice cream, and it wasn't until he got home that he realized he had left his wallet on top of the vending machine. That's why, when he returned to the hotel, he went through the side door, which is closer to the vending machines. Espada, on the other hand, remains suspicious of him due to the blood on his hand and the fact that if the wallet story was true, Bart couldn't have bought the ice cream. Later, Karen's husband, Detective Nick Peretti, arrives at the police station to identify the body. He also verifies that Karen carried a gun for self-defense, but he doesn't know what she was doing in a hotel at midnight. Ethel also arrives at the station and makes a scene, upset that the cops did not treat someone with special needs properly. She takes Bart with her and asks Espada to stay away from them. When they get back to the house, Ethel asks Bart if he has anything he wants to tell her, but he stays silent and instead bends over so his mother can comfort him by kissing the top of his head. That night, Espada researches Asperger's syndrome while Bart rewatches Karen's footage, noting that the killer has a bird tattoo on his arm. The following day, Ron tells Bart that he doesn't want to fire him, but he also can't keep him there, so he'll be transferred to a new location. Because it's the same layout, shift, and routine, Bart happily accepts. During his first night at the new location, Bart meets Andrea, a regular hotel guest who notices that he's new right away. Andrea doesn't seem bothered by Bart's awkwardness and attempts to converse with him, but of course, Bart's responses are limited. When he gets home from work, he connects the hidden camera on his tie to the computer and watches his interaction with Andrea to practice better responses, and starts to develop a crush on her. The next day, Bart flips through magazines and tears out pages that intrigue him before heading out to do some shopping, completely oblivious to the fact that Espada has been monitoring the house. Bart runs into Andrea at the store, who, yet again, is not bothered by his presence and keeps him company as they chat. Andrea admits that her brother had Asperger's too, but he wasn't as functional or capable as Bart and couldn't keep a job or anything. He was hospitalized for a long time before dying. Andrea compliments Bart on all of his practice in human interaction, saying he's doing well, but when the issue of death is raised, Bart becomes uncomfortable and leaves without purchasing anything. He goes back home and rewatches Karen's footage. He notices one of his SD cards is missing, the same SD card that the police have discovered at the hotel. Espada ends up taking the card to the station and shows Nick the footage, but they aren't sure who the people in the footage are because the footage only shows their feet. Nick wants to arrest Bart because he believes he installed the hidden cameras, but Espada says he doesn't have enough evidence. Furthermore, spying does not imply murder. Following that, Espada interrogates Jack, who informs him about the strange video he saw before on Bart's tablet. Meanwhile, Bart begins his shift by noticing that someone has dropped Andrea off at the hotel. When she arrives at reception, Bart informs her that he worked on her room's AC and that some items may have been shifted. Andrea accepts this without any suspicion, but the truth is that Bart did nothing but take advantage of the opportunity to hide his cameras once more. Andrea can't sleep in the room because she drinks too much. She's about to light a cigarette when she stops herself and returns to reception to ask Bart for a match, using the opportunity to engage in more small talk. She then goes swimming at the pool and informs Bart that he can keep her company. Andrea initially believes she will be alone, but Bart appears a few minutes later with a towel for her. Andrea invites Bart to sit with her after she exits the pool for a chat, and Bart seizes the opportunity to inquire about the mysterious men she kissed in the parking lot. Andrea refuses to discuss it, so Bart tries to explain how he knows he is socially inept and viewed as stupid. Andrea, on the other hand, disagrees and assures him that he is not stupid, prompting Bart to kiss her quickly. As soon as he realizes what he's done, he starts freaking out and saying sorry, but Andrea assures him that it's perfectly alright because she understands that loneliness causes people to do strange things. Andrea kisses him again, and Bart places his head on her lap. While she's petting his hair, she tells him about her lover who is a married man she's been secretly having an affair with for a long time. Things have recently become complicated, and she is unsure of what she is doing. Bart lets Andrea know that he would like to guard her. She accepts his offer and goes back to her room to sleep. When she's gone, Bart can't help but smile with delight. The next day, Bart goes downtown with his magazine pages in hand to get a makeover that will turn him into a model. Communicating with the various clerks is difficult for him, and he frequently misunderstands them, but at the end of the day, he has what he needs: a new haircut, a nice suit, some perfume, and even a new car. He then drives to the hotel to invite Andrea out, but when he looks through the window, he notices she's preoccupied with her boyfriend, who turns out to be the same murderer with the bird tattoo. Bart returns home, heartbroken and unsure whether he can trust Andrea again, only to discover that the police have arrived to take away all of his equipment. Ethel couldn't stop them because they had a search warrant, and Espada doesn't let her interfere with his interrogation either. He questions Bart about the contents of his computers because his team discovered them all empty, and Bart admits he deleted them all and has no backup. Espada refused to believe him and thinks he is hiding something, but people let him get away with it due to his condition. He also tells them that they have found Bart's fingertips all over the room, but the gun is nowhere to be found. Bart finally snaps and starts imagining how he could have gone to Karen's room and killed her, but he didn't, and the cops didn't find the gun in his room either, so Espada has no proof. Bart opens a hidden compartment in his room where he's been hiding his backups after the cops leave. He connects his external drive to a video game console to watch the hotel footage and becomes disheartened when he sees Andrea busy with the murderer. Bart no longer goes to work, and Ron covers his shifts with Jack, but he still calls frequently to check on Bart. He's also not eating much, so Ethel becomes too concerned about her son to continue obeying his no trespassing rule and comes down to talk to him. She understands how difficult life can be and tells him about the time his father died and how difficult it was for her to wake up every morning and continue living while accepting her husband was no longer alive. But the world was still waiting for her, and now Ethel gives Bart the same advice that the world is waiting for him as well. Bart doesn't respond, but her words make him think about it, so a few moments after Ethel leaves, he takes his plate and joins her at the table. Finally, after many years, both of them eat a meal together. And in the meantime, Andrea is meeting with her murderer lover, who turns out to be Nick. He tells her that if she truly loves him, she will do this favor for him, and Andrea agrees. Andrea shows up at Bart's house the next day. When Andrea introduces herself as a friend of Bart's from the hotel, Ethel is taken aback but decides to give her a chance. When Bart comes out to see her, he stays behind the gate to talk to her, and he is clearly not happy to see him, even though she says she has missed him. Bart tells her that she broke his heart and Andrea apologizes for Bart's broken heart, saying he's a very special person and she's thankful she met him. Andrea leaves after promising not to bother him any longer, completely oblivious to the fact that Espada is still secretly watching the house and has witnessed the entire exchange. When he returns home, the detective begins looking into Andrea's background. Because his camera in the other hotel is still up, Bart is watching Andrea in her room many hours later. Andrea appears to be trying to break up with Nick, and when he becomes violent again, hitting her, she pulls out a gun and locks herself up in the bathroom. Bart panics and rushes to the hotel to prevent Nick from further injuring Andrea. Nick catches Bart by the neck, but when Bart screams, Nick lets go and flees through the window before anyone can see him. After that, Bart frees Andrea and shows her the hidden camera, which she can use to prove Nick is a criminal. Andrea starts to cry when she finds out Bart has been spying on her, but Bart insists on bringing her to his house because there is something more important she needs to see. Andrea can now watch the video of Karen's death, confirming that Nick killed her and Bart is innocent. Andrea is still crying and doesn't know what to do, so Bart tells her he'd be willing to go to the police station with the footage if she agrees to come with him. He also wants Andrea to mend his broken heart, but Andrea refuses. When she goes to sleep on his bed, she puts one hand under the pillow and uses the other to bring Bart closer, so they both fall asleep cuddling. When Bart awakens, Andrea is dressed in fresh clothes and is waiting with a suitcase for them to flee together. Bart discovers that he can easily look at, speak to, and touch Andrea, so the two of them start kissing. Bart finally wakes up and realizes it was all a dream. Right then, Espada enters Andrea's room, discovering her blood-stained towel and the hidden camera. Bart comes to the realization Andrea has left and has taken his external drive with her because she's been working with Nick the whole time. She had only approached Bart to steal the evidence of Nick's crime, and she had also only placed her hand under the pillow to leave Karen's gun there to frame Bart. While deciding what to do, Bart grabs the gun and watches some of Andrea's recordings, reaching a severe conclusion. Ethel hears a gunshot upstairs and calls the police, so Espada arrives with a few officers and enters Bart's room. They discover the video of Karen's murder playing on the computer screens, as well as an envelope containing all of the SD cards and a letter from Bart apologizing for not disclosing his secret sooner. However, Bart is nowhere to be found. Andrea meets with Nick so that they can escape together. But the cops quickly find them, using the newly discovered evidence to arrest both of them. All whilst Bart is observing people at the mall and attempting to copy their mannerisms.